Hello and welcome to another BrightWolf Big Five. We're doing an interview special where we are speaking to Julie Craik, who is head of TayScreen.
So I'm Julie Craik. I run FifeScreen and TayScreen Scotland, which is the screen office that covers Fife in addition to Angus, Perth and Kinross and Dundee. And essentially that means that I promote the region to attract production and provide free support to help people come and film in this fabulous area.
So just to start us off, let's talk about some of the great productions that have taken place in this region. What have you had?
Well, of course, we date back to things like Chariots of Fire, but since I've been doing this job, we've had things like Star Wars Andor, the Crown, we've had a huge amount of Outlander, which I'm so grateful to them, all of them for coming. Christian Dior up at Drummond Castle in Perthshire.
Amazing events.
We've had people like Porsche, Vogue, Stella McCartney, a whole variety of fashion labels, a whole variety of car marks, I think is the official phrase. So we're very grateful to have had all of those different things, but we're also grateful for all the daytime TV. We've had, people like, Escape to the Country, or people finding, alternative places to be, things to do. We're very grateful for all of the production that's come here.
Yeah, because it's a very varied kind of set of different areas, isn't it? You really get a whole kind of gamut of rocky coastline, beautiful sandy beaches, but also once you get inland, you get some kind of glorious forestry. Yeah, you've got mountains,
hillsides,
and you've got some amazing castles and palaces and things
gorgeous,
like that. Well.
Yes, places like Scone Palace, Falkland Palace here in Fife. They're all absolutely wonderful. And plus, it's worth mentioning that we do have quite a lot of contemporary things like the V&A in Dundee, and all kinds of new buildings that have sprung up in Fife, where people can get that very contemporary look. And some place like Dunfermline, which is fairly newly made a city, even though it's a very old place. Some real mixture of contemporary and historic in locations like that. And we also now have added virtual production to our roster. We have virtual production facilities in Dundee because Dundee is the hub for the CoStar virtual production programme that is funded by the UK government.
So obviously you get big film crews where you've got huge units, and then you get just small film crews that are doing something for TV or covering a bit of the Gulf or something. What size of production should be getting in touch with you, and what sort of size are you okay with, that sort of thing?
Absolutely assist pretty much anything apart from people doing just pure private filming. We'll even help the odd influencer, if they're needing particular permissions for something. But essentially, we get from the large things like Star Wars Andor and Christian Dior. We also do quite a lot of factual daytime TV, documentary stuff, fashion shoots, commercials, advertising. Whether still or moving image, and we try to be helpful. Even things that tend to be perhaps are more of an arts type project, we'll help those as well. As long as it's got a clear plan for distribution. Doesn't have to have the distribution in place, but as long as the intention is to distribute it.
In terms of the services that you offer, what are the services that you provide as support?
Help with really pretty much everything across the board. So it can be at the pre-production development stage, it can be at the production stage, or even at the post-production stage. So for production, let's say, it's helping people to find locations. We absolutely don't want to replace location managers, but we do want to put some ideas out there so that people can think, is it worth coming? And we always suggest to people that they do hire a location manager or scout, and we will also help those location managers and scouts with suggestions, but also things like services, crew, accommodation. We will do our best even with research, or if people want a talking head participant, let's say, we can help point them towards different types of expertise that they can use. At the pre-production development stage, we can help people to develop their ideas and maybe pitch some proposals. It's probably more likely to be companies who've got very little experience in that area, rather than the more experienced companies, obviously. Really quite across the board. And also, if people are wanting to do post-production, we can help them find space to do that, and even set up temporary post facilities if they happen to have someone who's in the area that needs to be here for doing that work.
Obviously you offer a lot of different services there, and does it cost productions to use you guys?
We're completely free, and the reason for that is that we're part of the whole economic development activity of the region. So although we're here to support something that's creative and artistic, but there's very much a serious, that's serious of course, but on the serious economic development side of things, the various councils that I report to are thrilled to support production because it brings people here. It promotes the region for tourism, for economic development, and for social development also. It helps people to realise that the production sector is something that they can be part of. It's not just for some magical people elsewhere. It's absolutely here that you can get involved in this kind of area as a career or as a business.
When it comes to actually maybe closing roads or
yes,
public spaces?
Yeah, we tend to have sort of two options there, two main options, which is obviously full road closure and road control. Road control is where you'll have just traffic lights where the traffic can just be held for a while and then let go, of course. But certainly we find that there is really a mandatory period of 6 weeks for getting a full road closure. That's a legislative requirement, not just something that we're being particularly annoying about. But we do find that the roads guys for each of the roads teams at the different councils are incredibly supportive, and they do want to engage in discussions at the earliest opportunity if people are wanting to do a road closure. And of course, across the region as a whole, mostly road control is probably all that's needed.
So, you know, sometimes you'll be filming in public spaces, and it's quite useful just to pick up the phone and speak to you guys, because otherwise public spaces aren't always the public spaces you expect.
Oh, you've totally hit it on the head. And obviously there are public streets, and in this country we have that freedom of panorama concept. However, what I would say is that people can sometimes get confused between what is public and what is not public, because they'll see a place that's apparently open to the public, St Salvator's Quad being one of them, and think we can just go and film there. But they have to be aware that whoever owns or manages a given location needs to give that permission. It's the same with things like ports and harbours. Mm-hmm. Special permission is needed for those. It's a very fast process for most things that are low impact. Let's say we can pretty much do overnight permissions. If something's going to be bigger impact, then people would expect that they're going to have to take a little bit longer to discuss what they're planning, so that we can make sure they get the right permissions, and particularly things like parking and unit-based space for them.
Yep.
All very important.
All very important, and yeah. The parking one is sometimes if you're just a small crew, it's faster just to pay for the parking than to do anything more complicated than that, because it gives you complete flexibility.
Of course.
But other times you need more support than that, as you say, with units and stuff. And certainly, I've seen film crews set up and try and film in train stations going it's a public space, and you're going, no, it's not, it's owned by Network Rail, it's not a public space, you can't just turn up and shopping malls as well, people thinking they can just film in a shopping mall because it's a public space. Well, it's not. It's actually
exactly.
So and actually there's I think there are a few grey areas where you've got streets that are actually technically designated shopping malls and they're not actually a public street and things like that. So it's always a good idea to at least have conversations with people. What about money? Is there any money available for filming in this region?
We don't really have anything in the way of local money, but what we are is a qualifying area for, as is all of the UK, of course, for things like funding from the BFI and for the screen tax credits offered by the UK government. And in Scotland, of course, people can apply to Screen Scotland, which is part of Creative Scotland, to get funding support. So we can help point people in the right direction, and we've also helped people submit their applications for their tax credits, because clearly there's quite a lot of technical issues there that they need to be aware of. Mostly we say to people, do involve a professional in this, but we're happy to provide guidance and input for applying for all of those different funding opportunities.
Well, brilliant. Thank you very much, Julie. That has been absolutely great. Obviously, anybody that's interested in filming in this region should just get in touch with Julie and her team, and there should be a website appearing on screen about here, with a bit of luck. Thank you very much, and catch you next time on the BrightWolf Big 5. We want to bring you more locations, so please do support the channel and like and subscribe.
See you next time.